After being blockaded for over a decade, the situation in Gaza is now a humanitarian disaster.
There is an increasing gap in the story that Israel tells itself about what it's doing vis-a-vis Palestinians and the story that the rest of the world tells, and Gaza is that gap.
A 2012 UN report predicted that if current trends continued, Gaza would become unlivable. A follow-up report last year said that day might have already come. According to the Israeli human rights group B'Tselem, the coastal aquifer, which Gaza relies on as its primary water source, has been polluted by overpumping and wastewater contamination. As a result, 96% of the water pumped from the aquifer and supplied for domestic use in Gaza is unsafe to drink. According to Oxfam, this water pollution is among the factors causing a dramatic increase in kidney problems among Gaza's residents.
Gaza was cut off of the world. The social, economic, political problems are increasing dramatically. There are 2 million Palestinians live in a very small, tiny place, 362 kilometers square, around 200 miles. We receive 4 hours electricity every day for the past couple of years. They believe that the world has forgotten them.
What we're seeing right now is not the result of something that happened overnight. It has a context, a broader context. We would say at least the last 10 years of closure on the Gaza Strip, very harsh movement restrictions which have caused undue suffering in the Strip. But certainly it's also in a broader context of 50 years of occupation, 70 years without a resolution to the conflict.
According to the World Bank, nearly 80% of Gaza's residents receive some form of humanitarian aid. Unemployment is over 40%. Among the young people, it is even higher, nearly 60%. It is hard for me to imagine how peace and stability will come to an area where so many young people have given up hope for a decent future. This is an issue we must address.
As long as Israeli government will not suggest a true alternative or solution that will remove the siege over Gaza, we will only see this kind of escalations over and over again.
People in Israel think that in order to maintain their security and their safety, they have to maintain the occupation, and that is the first misunderstanding that there is about this. The safety and the security of the people of Israel will only be achieved fully by ending the occupation and reaching a peace treaty. I don't know about the rest of the world. I'm kind of sick of having to go into war every couple of years.
The Gaza Strip has been controlled by Israel from '67, and even though we dismantled settlements, we still control the borders, registry of population, goods that come in and out.
Earlier this year, Israeli security officials warned that the humanitarian crisis in Gaza increases the chance of incidents at the border fence turning deadly. Israeli security officials also believe conditions in Gaza could worsen to the point of a total collapse of order in that territory, leading to all-out confrontation between and among various factions within Gaza and with Israel. That is what happens when people are desperate and have no options.
I mean, everybody talk about in Gaza about another confrontation might happen soon. I mean, this is a nightmare. Still, 7,000 houses destroyed in 2014 have not been built. Still, 7,000 families are homeless. The poverty in Gaza is 6 times the poverty in West Bank.
As all of us know, over the past weeks, there have been a series of large demonstrations by the Palestinian people in Gaza.
Young people in Gaza are saying to the world, look at us, see us, we're part of the equation, we need to be part of the solution. And it's a shame that it's only in times of violence and uprising that people remember that the Gaza Strip exists.
We have this reality of deterioration that has been going on, and the only thing that actually reminds us that Gaza is there is violence.
Tens of thousands of people have demonstrated near the fence dividing Gaza from Israel to protest against the blockade, against the occupation, and for the right to return to their former homes inside Israel.
10 years of a siege, 50 plus years of occupation, and as long as we have that system in place, then things will get worse, and that's why we're demanding a change in policy and to stop looking at Palestinians, but especially at Gazans, as lesser than us.
As an Israeli and as someone who believes firmly in my right to self-determination, I would also demand Palestinians will have those same rights.
Israeli forces were commanded to respond by opening fire on the crowd with a combination of live ammunition and rubber-coated bullets.
The Israeli army, they want to prevent this protest to continue, so they want to make it difficult and too costly for the Palestinians to continue.
Over the past several weeks, over 30 Palestinians have been killed, including a journalist who was clearly identified, and well over 1,000 demonstrators have been injured.
They're just demanding the most human basic thing, to be free of the siege, to be free of the poverty, to be free of the diseases that are in the streets of Gaza. And we support the people of Gaza in their fight for freedom. And we oppose what is going on with the Israeli military shooting unarmed protesters.
The Netanyahu administration, like the Trump administration, they think that you can solve a tough problem by pushing it under the rug. They think that people will stop talking about the occupation if they pass legislation, if they ban cameras. But the truth is that problems aren't solved by being pushed under the rug. And Israel has a serious policy problem with a 50-year occupation. That is not going away.
Pretending that the problem is not there doesn't help to solve the problem. The situation is getting from bad to worse.
In my view, the United States must play a more aggressive and even-handed role in ending the Gaza blockade and helping Palestinians and Israelis build a future that works for all. And if the White House is unable to do that, Congress must take the lead.